Welcome back to another episode of Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast.
Hello, my son.
Hi, Mom. How are you today?
I'm okay. I have a funny story to tell you.
You
It
do?
should be today. Hold on, I'm calling my son.
What happened? Were you in
So
shock right about the pass out again?
I was like, okay, I'm going to go get an iced coffee this morning. I'll order it online. I'll just go right around, pick it up. In the meantime, I'm like, oh, let me take the trash out with me. So I take the trash. Now I'm still in my pajamas, no bra, no nothing, hair still up. I'm like, I'll just walk out to the trash can, get in a car, go through the drive-through.
Titties were slanging.
Yes. So I go, I put the one cardboard thing in, and I go and I throw my trash.
The trash bag?
Bag gets wrapped around my car keys and literally goes into
The dumpster?
the dumpster.
No, that dumpster is like crazy as hell too.
I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't even
You're not
get
climbing in
into
there.
my car because the keys are in the dumpster to see if I have something like to
Scoop it up.
Can't get into the house because I locked the house because I'm going to Starbucks. No bra, pajamas. I'm like, what am I going to do? Brett just left like 10 minutes ago to go to work. So I call him. I'm like, you got to come home. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I FaceTime. I'm like, here's my keys. He's like, Jesus, Mom, what? Why would you throw them with your? And I'm like, I don't know. I thought I had a grip on them and I would just toss the bag. So he's like, you got to go ask someone. I'm like, I'm not asking anybody. There's no, again, I'm not even dressed. So then he's
It'd
like,
be like this at someone's front door. Hi.
yes. So I see this woman on the playground that we have, like down a little bit ways. And I'm like, Brett, I see this woman. She has like 4 little kids. Maybe she'll be able to to put one of the little kids in the dumpster to grab. Mom,
Not this lady dropping the little kids in the dumpster to get your keys.
he's like, Mom, no one is going to do that. Are you kidding me? I'm like,
Hey, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Can you take your 4-year-old and drop him in the dumpster for me?
I did it.
No, you didn't.
So I'm like, I'll call you back. So I go up to her and I said, ma'am, I'm really sorry. And excuse me, I just was going to go into my car, go to Starbucks, come back. I'm still in my pajamas. I apologize. But I threw my bag in the dumpster with my keys in it. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do. But I was thinking, like, do you think like one of your kids, we could like just scoot in there and grab it and get it? And she literally just looked at me.
Did she question it at first?
She was like, well, let's go see. She has 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. They all come with her. We all get there.
I just envision them on each other's shoulders and they're just walking over to the dumpster.
No, we did something even better. So they come over. She's like, is there anything? I said, that's what I thought. I said, I can't even get into my house because my keys are in there. So I'm like, I'm just thinking, like, since there's nothing in there. So all the kids, the 2 little boys are like, I'm not going in. The one little girl's like, ew, I'm not going in. The smallest, littlest girl was like, I'll do it. I was like, you go, girl. Good for you.
Look, see?
I know.
Like, I'm not going to let any of these taller bitches make me feel.
Yeah. So, but then the little girl was like, let me look. So the mom lifts her up. So then all the other 3 kids.
I'm sorry. I love you. But the fact that this woman's even entertaining your shenanigans, I'm like, I would have been out. Like, sorry.
I know. So then all the other little kids are like, Mom, lift me up so I can see. The one's like, I'm not doing it. The 2 other boys are like, I'm not doing it. Again, the little girl is. So she lifts her up this way. And I'm like, you think we can like put her in it and then lift her out? And the mom was like, no, like, let's do this. So I held her legs. The mom held the top of her. We put her head first in.
This poor kid's going to have like PTSD.
We put her head first in to the dumpster. She grabbed the keys, and of course it's all wrapped around the bag. So she's trying to grab the bag. I reach in, grab the bag. She comes out. I get the keys. I'm like,
she comes out, she's crying. There's
she's just like, I can't. And I'm thinking, oh, this girl's doing it. I am lowering her even more. She's getting my damn keys.
All you hear is just she's going through everything that's in there.
So I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. High five. Thank you. Thank you. I said to the woman, thank you so much. She's like, no problem. So I come in, I wipe my keys off. So then I'm like, oh my God, my stuff at Starbucks been sitting there. It's probably all melted and stuff. So then I'm in line waiting at Starbucks. So I was like, I'm going to get them all little cake pops. So I ordered 4, came back, drove like my car to where she was, got out, and I was like, I hope the kids don't have any allergies, but I got these. And she was like, oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that. And all the little kids are like, what are they? And she's like, they're cake pops. She's like, what do you say? And they all yell, thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you for helping me.
The one girl has pink eye now. She's her eyes all inflamed. I can't see.
That was my morning.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm surprised you didn't call me. But see, wow, the podcast in a blessing is helping us set boundaries.
I couldn't call you because I needed to do something right then. I needed my keys. And I'm like, what are you going to tell me?
Well, I am proud of you for coming up with all that yourself. That you used a human child and lowered them down into a dumpster. Well, today's episode with a special guest is going to be a great person to talk to about in those moments of distress.
Yes.
What can we do? What can we do to really just tap out for a minute, take a deep breath, and just realize everything is going to be okay? I really adore her, and I think she'll be great to give us some sound knowledge. And, you know, I feel like I call you every day and I'm like, I'm doing this. I don't know. Should I be doing, like, you know, always feeling like what I'm doing isn't enough and I need to be doing more. And I think she will maybe give us just a little bit more insight and helpful tools of how to manage that and just be like, life's fucking good and just take it as that.
Teach us some things about our inner self.
Yeah, that inner child. Now that poor little kid's inner child, she's always going to think about when that crazy lady made her go in a dumpster to get her keys.
Oh, she got a cake pop out of it.
Not gonna lie, I'd risk it all for a Starbucks cake pop. So I mean, that's a nice gift. Well, I'm excited to bring Camilla on and
excited to meet her. To meet her.
Enough talking about her. Let's bring her on and let's get into it. I'd like to welcome our guest today. I'm like, multifaceted superstar you are. I was like dancing on the ballroom called Strictly Come Dancing, which is BBC's version of Dancing with the Stars, which I know is like huge over there. And I was like, you're a best-selling author, you're a life coach, you're a hypnotherapist. And I'm like, we have the queen here, Camilla Sacre-Dallerup, today on today's episode. And I'm so honored that I'm like, I get to chat with you because the way we met was so like, you know, context is that I took one of your classes at Unplugged in LA, and I just was going there one Sunday with like my boyfriend, and I like looked at the wall and I saw this. I sent it to my mom. Like I literally texted her a picture.
You literally called me and said,
yeah. Hence the title of this podcast. Yeah, I called my mom.
I was like, Mom, what do you think? I was like, absolutely, you need this.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. You're welcome.
And I said it just really, like, I don't know, it just really connected to me. Like I just felt it. I don't know. I've always been very adventurous in terms of like, you know, manifestation and crystals and like just putting it out in the universe. So here you are today. So if that wasn't destiny aligning for us, I don't know what is. But I said, I want the people to know, like, you are so, this is like your space. You've been doing this for years. I think your story is like so brilliant how, you know, you had this really like successful career of being like a dancer and you kind of just woke up one day and was like, this isn't what I thought I wanted to do.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I wrote my second book, Reinvent Me, just about this theme, because honestly, from as early as I can remember, all I wanted to do was to dance. I was a competitive dancer from 6 years old. You were supposed to be 8, but I begged my parents to apply for special dispensation to compete at 6. So that's how keen I was to compete in ballroom and Latin American dancing. And it took me, like Paul said on the show, 20 years ago this year. And
Wow.
that's all I thought I wanted to do. It was, in a way, life was simple because I had the one thing that was my passion and my career. But what happened was that I reached the peak of my career, and then the passion for it had kind of gone away. It was like I'd fallen out of love with the one thing that I felt was my anchor in life. And that was really
Yeah.
scary, actually. And I'll never forget that feeling. And obviously now helping so many other clients through a similar thing. Many people go through this in life where we think that's the dream job. That's all I want, right? That's all I want. Yeah. You know the feeling. I was so lost, so stuck. Every single day, I think for about 3 years, I prayed that I would fall back in love with my passion, with my career, but it didn't happen. So I knew that I could stay, for the money, like sometimes we do, right?
Yeah.
Or I could really follow that feeling in my belly of stuck and lost and go explore what on earth that was all about and where that was going to take me. And I say this a lot in my workshops now, that we like the yay feelings, right? We like when it's joy and fun and inspired. We love to follow that path, right? But when it's
Mhm.
lost and stuck and like empty, we're like, oh no, that's not guidance. But unfortunately it is.
That's scary. That's scary. Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
But I think like what you're saying, that sometimes we don't think of it in the moment, but like it can be a beautiful way to help you bridge the gap to the next chapter in your life.
Yes. That's how bad it had to feel for me to take that brave step. I had no idea what rebuilding my career in a brand new area meant. I had no idea where I was going or how it was going to unfold, obviously, because I was an expert. I was at the top of my game, but I was empty and I had nothing more to give. Like, just the thought of somebody saying, can you teach me like a wedding dance? I was like, I have nothing to share. Like I'm empty. I'm running on empty here.
You're like, no more cha-cha slides, nothing. I'm not giving you anything. No dance routine.
Seriously, empty, running on empty. And I know that many people go through this in life, which is why I ended up writing the book Reinvent Me, right?
When you feel that way, like, and you woke up that day and, maybe it came with your own experiences to learn how to help others, but like, what do you do now, in your work? Because I know you do various things like hypnotherapy, crystals, healing, all of that. What is your day-to-day of like helping clients that come in and are like, I'm lost, I want to reinvent myself, or I want to rebuild my life, or I'm struggling with this? What do you do to tackle that at first?
So it's quite a few things, because I think when we're working with changing patterns or changing anything in life, we're working with the mind. I'm really obsessed working with the subconscious mind, mainly because it runs our lives 95% of the time. So we can sit here and we can be aware of our, patterns and so forth. But unless we also remember to update the software and the subconscious, either through affirmations, hypnosis, or meditation, those old patterns just keep coming up. And sometimes they can work as limited beliefs. You know what I mean? They can stand in our way. Like, for example, when I, my voice at the time, I think when I left that career was, well, what else do you know? Like, why do you think that you could do something else? Like that limitation, like, who do you think you are that you can just like skip on over and do another career? Like, what do you know? So that kind of needing to create that, self-love and that positive affirming language to ourselves, that's a big part of it. I help my clients obviously speak into the universe as such, what it is that they want, really be in alignment with the language they use about themselves and to themselves, and really align subconsciously, get rid of some of those limited beliefs and align with, this is possible. I believe in myself. I trust in myself. I do know what's best for me, because this is a big one too. It's like a big breakup, when you break up with your career as such, so many people had an opinion on my breakup with my career, which is just extraordinary. We all know that when we break up with a partner, people are like, oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, great idea. It's like, Who are you to come? You don't live my life. People are
Yeah.
like, oh, do you think you should be doing that? That might be quite foolish, Camilla. Like, what else are you going to do? And imagine that. What else are you going to do? Then the self-doubt comes in. And that's what I do with clients every day. You know, sometimes it starts with them, you know, coming to me because they are lacking in confidence or worthiness or enoughness, or they're having some anger issues or things that go all the way back to maybe some trauma in childhood, because those patterns, like I said, they're created when we're children. Our subconscious mind, those main patterns are created from 0 to 6 years old. So sometimes we play them out in life. And so I needed to go on a journey to learn for myself, like I do with my clients, that I could, you know, change my life if I wanted to. I could take a moment to think about, what do I want? I realized for so many years, I'd just been on autopilot. I hadn't stopped and asked, like Deepak Chopra always says, ask yourself, who am I? Who am I?
Sometimes that's a scary question to ask, you know, really, when you look internally, you're like, do I really want to know?
Can you talk a little bit about what the subconscious mind is?
Yeah, I mean, so consciously we sit here and speak together, but subconsciously we have all this software, and it just makes me laugh when we, you know, we take our phones and we go update, 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 but we don't do that with our subconscious minds, but we should, right? Because the subconscious mind is the one that reacts. So if somebody says something to me, then maybe in the moment, maybe they don't mean to, but it makes me feel, let's say I had a wound of not feeling enough. Immediately, if you said to me, oh, Camilla, I don't know, I don't like the way you do that, I could immediately feel not enough, instead of just going, oh, that's interesting, how can I make it better? Do you see what I mean? If I had healed that enoughness in the subconscious, I'll be like wanting the feedback maybe, or I want to discuss or be curious. But if I feel not enough, I'll go straight to, you hate me and you don't like my work and you definitely have it in from me and I'm not enough.
Okay, you were talking to the right people here, because I'm telling you, this is why I was so excited to have you on. And I get like all like, you know, cheese. Like, I'm like, oh, there's just so much, because I said, like, I don't know if it's like a taught thing or like you pick it up, like nurture versus nature. My mom is a very sensitive woman. I'm a very sensitive human as well. And like, I think sometimes the way she kind of viewed life, as, you know, when I was younger, I kind of view it now too. Like, I wish we were better, both of us, at not taking everything so
personal.
Like, oh my gosh, like you could, you know, say my work is great all the time, but as soon as you say one time that I like made a boo-boo, I'm like, oh, I'm terrible. I'm a failure. I suck. Oh, they're talking about me. They're doing, and I'm like, why? And my mom's always been like that too.
Yeah.
Are you highly sensitive people? I'm a highly sensitive person, so that's why I'm asking.
Very.
Yeah. That's 20% of the population, and it's actually something that I'm extremely passionate about sharing. In fact, I created a course on my app, and it's on Insight Timer too, where we talk about what it means to be highly sensitive. So criticism for a highly sensitive person lands a little differently. Like, we really feel it. And so it is a different process than somebody who's not sensitive. So, Paul, I really understand what you mean when you say that you take that to heart. And it could just be the sensitivity, because we process things differently. So that's really interesting as well. Something to learn about each other too when we know this.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes that's been, I think, us getting older and having to be like, okay, no, I'm going to be the one in this situation that's telling you don't take it personally. But I'm like, I can't even take my own goddamn person, you know? So I'm like, why? Who am I preaching this?
Is that a relationship with yourself too, of being personal, you know, being very sensitive and taking things so to heart?
Yes. I didn't realize when I was growing up that I was sensitive, because it wasn't something people talked about. And so it's so funny when I have this chat to my mom, with my mom now, she goes, you never used to be. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I did, but we didn't know what that meant back then.
Right. See, my whole family always will say Barb was always the sensitive one. She was, you know, anybody raised their voice, I would just cry immediately, go into, you know, like this kind of,
she's not confrontational.
I'm not confrontational at all. So as soon as someone raises their voice or says something, I take it so to heart. Yeah.
And that's because our nervous system reacts differently, and we care so deeply. So I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where someone has said, I can't believe you're still thinking about that. I forgot that like 2 weeks ago. Sensitive people are like, are
Camilla,
you kidding?
story of my life. Story of my life.
Him more. I think as I get older, I'm less like that because I think now I'm like, I'm good. You know, like I just feel like now I need to learn to put those on the back burner and be like, I can't have that absorb me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm not going to live my life joyfully,
No.
harmoniously. Like it's just not going to be if I keep
Yeah.
constantly doing that.
Yeah.
But it took you a while to tap into that. You weren't always like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world can be a tough place sometimes for a sensitive person.
Do you feel like the lessons that you've learned in life or taught to learn where you are now?
Yes and no. Yes to most of them, because everything, you know, is I believe everything is meant to be. But I do think if I'd learned about my sensitivity earlier on, I could have saved myself a burnout at 35 for sure.
That's funny that you say that because that was one of my questions. Do you believe in that saying that things happen for a reason?
I do. But I do think that children who grow up now knowing what it means to be sensitive is super helpful for their nervous system, and they may be spared some discomfort, which we can discuss whether that's a good thing or not. There are definitely some things that I would have liked. I mean, because it's just such a physical thing, you know, anxiety. Sometimes people will say, but the word anxiety, but honestly, a lot of sensitive people will feel a form of anxiety in the body when their nervous system is overstimulated. And it's a very physical feeling and it's uncomfortable.
Actually, I have my 2 crystals that you gave me for the people who can't see this. I said, you looked at me and you said, take 2 of these. And I said, it meant something to me because you just looked at me and you felt, I don't know, you just like saw something where you're like, take these 2.
How do you select the right crystal if you're looking to do that? What are the things that you should be looking for?
Intuitively, people would pick a crystal. And then what was so funny to me, I had this class where I would always come prepared and I would have decided today we're going to work with the green crystal, the green aventurine, blah, blah, blah. I promise you, I would walk through the door. I would have this message of today's crystal needs to be the, you know, the blue calcite. And I was like, I've just prepared all this for the green. Like what? So I surrendered and I would go in with the blue. And every single time I would get these people would come up and share, Camilla, thank you so much. You don't understand. I have an operation tomorrow. I really needed to hear these words. And I thought, the crystals are taking me on a journey that's just, I have to surrender here. Like I can't pretend that I am in charge here of this. You know what I mean? So as you can see, I have crystals everywhere, and I love crystals. And I will say they go really well with the Reiki and the chakra balancing. When I read Paul's email the other day, I did tune into the 2 of you 2 with some Reiki, and I'll tell you what came through, and you can say if that's not relevant or not. But for you, Paul, it was the green aventurine. It's a heart stone for the heart chakra. You don't have to share here, but you can just have a think about. It can either be for abundance, that you're wanting to manifest something specific or have some luck in something that you're wanting to happen, or it can be to do with love, matters of the heart. Okay. So it's a feeling stone. It's calling you to the heart chakra, because remember, we have 3 brains, right? Logical. We have the heart, the feeling brain, and the gut brain. So for some reason, you're being called to the feeling brain, whatever that means.
I wonder if it's, well, this podcast kind of came of a conceptualization of like, I just felt like I was kind of like you, like your story where, you know, you do something for, you know, for so long. And then it's like, you're like, what's my purpose? Like, what am I using my voice for? Like, how can I connect to other people? Like, I want to do more. And that's how I really was like, me and my mom had these conversations always together, and
multiple times a day.
Yeah. And this is kind of how we go on these journeys together. So the fact that you just said that.
Yeah. Love that for you. Love that.
Wow.
For the heart. So is this a new thing for you to follow your feeling or the heart, or what the heart is calling you to do?
I think so. I mean, I kind of always feel like I've been like really determined my whole life of like what I wanted. But I think what opens up a bigger, you know, conversation, like you were saying, is that sometimes I, you know, wake up and I'm like, I'm doing everything that I need it to do, like to get me to where I want.
And then he says, oh, but I need to do more.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel always fulfilled, if that makes sense. And I always question, like, last night, this is kind of actually really crazy. Last night, Camilla, I'm not kidding, I Googled, how do you know when you feel ultimately fulfilled in life? And you just said, this is crazy.
That's so beautiful, because my word, when I decided to make that big leap in life, I wrote down the one word that I wanted as my inspiration, and it was how to be content. Because I didn't understand. I had so much. Like, people looked at my career and they're like, can I have your job? And yet inside, I felt guilty, by the way, even because I'm a really grateful person. Like, every day I do my gratitude, my thing. I'm so thankful for it all. But that empty feeling, I was like, why do I have this empty feeling? Why can't I just wake up and feel like you're saying, like, just content?
Yeah.
But you know what? It happened by following this.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. It just came to me one day and I just was like, let's do it. I like to believe I'm a confident person, but I would say as I get older, there's moments where I lose that confidence a little bit more than, like, when I was younger. No one could tell me shit.
And that scares him when he loses. Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like everything that I worked for, it's like, it's here now. But, like, you know, kind of like you, like, friends could say, oh, you're doing what you love for work and you have a great relationship. Your mom and your brother and you are so cute. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, there's more, right? Like, I don't know.
Did you hear him? Yeah, but.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, but. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. And I think that sometimes it can be a driver, the more, but also at the same time, I always say that I had a really successful career when I did it from will and force, but I have a way more content career now that I'm doing it from trust and flow.
Love that.
I love
that.
And they're really, really different, but they're very powerful strategies, both of them, but they're very different feelings inside.
Do you have a stone for me?
I do. Did you see the color I picked up for you?
No.
I didn't either.
Purple
like
amethyst. It's amethyst. So amethyst that came through for you was very much about your connection, like your, I don't know if I want to say psychic ability, but your strong intuition and your guidance, and really leaning into that, whatever guidance that comes through to you. I don't know if this is something that you use a lot or need to use more. When I go like this, I'm going crown chakra, like connecting to the oneness, the one mind, the kind of realm of guidance, however you like to consider your guides.
Yeah. Oh, that's so me.
That's crazy, because, like, I feel like I have to tell a story to corroborate this for, like, everyone listening and yourself. Is like, my mom always growing up would be like, I don't know. There's just something about that. I don't know.
Like, he would be like, oh, this friend or this thing or this.
And I'm like, Mom, I love this person. They're my new friend. You know me. I'm just like, I love people. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm not kidding, always to this day is always right.
Yes.
You have a strong intuition. Are you guiding other people? Do you help people? Barbara?
I try.
But I mean, she's a nurse.
I'm a nurse, so but I work with a lot of young.
Right. But that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I do try when they come to me for help, and I try to guide them, or I'll sit and be like, I don't think that's the one for you. Like,
I love it. Wow.
Yeah. So I do. I try to tap into it. Yeah.
So you feel you tap into it and you feel the incoming.
I do. I remember I had a girlfriend and she was dating someone, and this was only, maybe like 10, 15 years ago. And she was dating someone and brought him around to everybody and introduced, and everybody was like, he's so cute. He's so nice. And I was like, nope, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And he would, like, the girl actually was like, yeah, for some reason, we'll just call him Bob. Bob just was like, has a feeling you don't like him. Or like, and he would like try to, like, he would avoid me. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't even try. And I was like, I kept saying, nope, there's something about him. And it turns out he was a horrible person, did horrible things to the girl, and everybody was like, "Well, I guess we should have listened to Barb." I was like, I told you so, but
in a non-bitchiest way. Yeah, she hates the
Exactly.
So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It was just very much like, you were very connected in that way. It was very clear.
I'm telling you, she's the real deal. I knew, like, I'm like, you just, yeah, like, you exude. This is like my hype you up moment, and why I felt so connected to you is that I left and I did call my mom immediately. I was like, there's just something about her. Like, we hugged each other, we embraced one another, and I followed you on Insta, and I just was like, she has such a great aura that, like, outside looking in is like what somebody like me would want to like you look like you wake up happy every day. And maybe that's not the case.
Goal.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm trying to do it. So I'm like, I think that is probably maybe not always accurate, but that at least is what you put out in the universe and people pick up on it.
I think it's very important, when we go through things in life, there can be days where we definitely don't wake up happy. But what I am so grateful for, and what I really like sharing every day with my clients, are tools. So that on the days where we wake up for whatever reason we don't feel good, we have tools. And honestly, I tell everybody, the days I feel like that, I meditate twice as much. Yeah. I sit with the dogs twice as much. I put my feet in the grass. You know what I mean? I have an infrared sauna. I go play pickleball. I talk to my mom. I do connect. You know what I mean? And I just think it's not that we can all, the feelings and emotions can come and go, and everybody goes through their own stuff at all times, right? We know this. But I feel safe, if that feels like a good word, actually. I feel safe knowing that even in turbulent times, I have these tools to lean on. I have recordings, meditations, frequency tracks, all sorts of things, my sound, my singing bowls that I can use, my crystals. I hug a crystal every single day. And that just helps me. You know what I mean? And this room here is full of crystals, and I come in here and I sit here and I feel better. And the dogs they come in to meditate. So waking up happy isn't just like, there are days where we don't, all of us, but we have tools we can trust, then we feel safe and like, okay, I don't feel great today. It could be different reasons, but hey, what can I do to support myself today? Where can I begin? What can I do that's going to sort of navigate this day better? That's really how I like to help clients, just to know that if you go through difficult times, I don't know what I would have done without meditation. I honestly don't know, because it was my anchor through it all.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that years ago. And I think that's probably what made me want to get into this world so much, because there are just resources out there that I think you just aren't taught and not exposed to until I meet somebody like you. And I go, wow, like she's really, teaching me something here. She's enlightening me. I feel it. And that's what I think it's just getting these conversations out there for people to know about this stuff, right?
100%. And also, I'm grateful to your mom to be like a borrow mom for everybody else listening. I feel like we can all, that's so nice. Not everybody has a mom to call. And then I feel like Barbara is here and can be like, you're here for us. I can feel your energy. You're holding space. And this is really a beautiful skill too. You're clearly doing that in your work too. And I can imagine, Paul, was she that to your friends too?
Oh yeah. Like, I'm like, yeah.
Like, sometimes it's not just, hold on, I'm calling my mom. It's, hold on, this person's calling. This person, I'm with this person. They want to ask you something. Oh, they all want to say hi to you. Or
let's just say when Barb's in town in LA, she's hitting up the gay bars with me and my friends.
I mean, not everybody has that connection with their parents, especially in the gay community. So I always feel like I want to be that person that 100%. They can always come to no matter what.
I have 2 questions that I like to ask in the morning, and I have a 5-minute meditation that's free on my app, by the way. So if anybody want to listen to it, it's a morning check-in. And the 2 questions are seriously, we can do it right now. You just put the hands over your heart and you breathe in. And then you ask, how am I today? You just listen. Whatever word comes is fine. And then you just ask the second question, what do I need today?
What happens if the first one's always, how do you feel in the morning? And it's always anxious or anxiety.
Then I think that's a message to go explore. Okay, so how is this feeling guiding me, or this emotion guiding me? Because that's kind of uncomfortable. Like when I felt stuck and lost, right? I'm like, I'm stuck. So what do I need to do with this? Like what is one thing I can do to feel less stuck or to feel less anxious? And so I try and help my clients have a sort of a bag of tools, as I call, where they can go, okay, but if I do this, I feel better. I have many clients that would tell me that 10-minute meditation and their exercise, whether it's a walk or 15 minutes on the treadmill or whatever it is, that is the absolute non-negotiable. If they miss that, they honestly don't feel great. Many people will tell me that, or even for some people, it's their 8 hours sleep. For sensitive people, getting your sleep is absolutely vital. I don't feel great emotionally if I don't get my sleep, right? I'm just don't feel good.
Yeah, that's
again, I was in denial about that for many years, but until I was like, let's surrender to that and get our sleep,
Yeah.
That word that you just said, surrender, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, as we all know, you can't change it. And that's something that I think has been so difficult, being a Virgo and being so, this is how my life is going to be, and this is what it's got to be, and it's got to be this way. That control of just feeling like you're not meeting those daily expectations. And just like, I wish I was more of the person that was just like, tomorrow's a new day. You know, I try to reframe my mind like that, but I think the word of surrendering I used to think maybe felt weak, but I think that's actually a really powerful thing to do.
Absolutely.
100%. And actually, it's interesting when you say that other part as well, because Michael A. Singer is one of my favorite authors. His first book, The Untethered Soul, The Surrender Experiment, and Living Untethered. Yeah, right. Seriously.
And you know why I got it?
Because I said
because of you.
So there's a part in his third book where he talks about the narrative, right? Like when you just said, as a Virgo, you said you have a certain way we like things to be or whatever. So I love the way that he asks us to check in with our narrative. If I'm in a tricky situation and I don't like how I feel about something, or I don't like a behavior of someone or a thing that's happening, I'll go, okay, Camilla, what is the resistance here? And I'm like, my narrative is that I would prefer this person to be kind, right? But that's not what's happening. So my narrative now is causing me to feel discomfort. So how could I look at it in a different way? Well, this person is acting out maybe and speaking rudely or whatever. So maybe they're not okay. Maybe if my narrative came from a place of compassion in that moment, I'll be able to handle it differently. Like I just started to get curious about the narrative that I have. And by the way, this is a good one with patience too, right? Whenever we need patience, why am I feeling annoyed? Because I'm being impatient and I want it to happen now, right? What if my narrative was, I'm meant to focus on this whilst this is happening? Well, then I don't have such a problem about it. Check in with your own narrative that you've created around a situation and see if you can find some flexibility in maybe trying on different narratives in the moment. It's fun. It's actually quite fun to play around with.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing more of that as I get older. Also, coming out of a relationship that was just such overload that I was always ready to, like, you annoy me, I'm like this kind of thing. That now being out of it and taking some time for myself, that I'm like, okay, I don't have to be on, I think the word's on guard.
Yeah.
I don't have to be so on guard. Yes.
Ooh,
I can actually take a breath, evaluate the situation, and then sit and go from that, like you just said. Yes, absolutely.
That takes retraining. Let's be real too. I work a lot on this with clients when they've been in situations where they had to be vigilant and the nervous system almost gets used to that. It's like it just loops vigilance, like you said, what? You know what I mean? It's like ready.
Yes.
And it's like
retraining at all times. Yes.
Oh yeah. Even when it's something you're thinking, why did I just do that? I don't even need to react like that. Yeah, I hear you. That takes retraining. That's like really, we need a lot of love and compassion through the body. The chakra balancing course that I have is quite loving in that way, going through each chakra and just kind of really taking care of yourself and cleansing, cleansing some of that stuff.
What do you say to the skeptics about meditation, crystals?
I was the skeptic. So I was the one that told all of my friends I don't have time to meditate. And now I tell everybody I don't have time not to. So I had somebody recently and he was so stressed and really not feeling good. And he's like, I don't have time for meditation. And I was like, well, that's so funny to me, because you have time to feel stressed.
Right.
See,
And he
shifting your mind. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And he went, Camilla, send me that meditation. You're right. This is ridiculous. I spend hours feeling stressed every day. I have 5 minutes in the morning. If you need to look at the research, I say, if you need to, then go, please, because there's just so much research. I have a meditation for the vagus nerve. Just to give an example, I think there's something like, I've had 20,000, something, it's a crazy amount of reviews on it. Okay. I don't need any proof of anything, but when those reviews come back and they show, and people tell me how they feel after a 7-minute vagus nerve breathing, I'm like, why wouldn't you do it? If it's helping people feel better in life, less stressed, less anxiety, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Just don't take my word for it. Just try it for yourself. That's all I'm going to say. You don't need me to tell you, but do try it, because it changed 5 minutes a day, changed my day, and 10 minutes a day has changed my life.
Wow.
When a client comes to you and like wants to work with you, I'm assuming most people like myself would probably be like, I want to be happy, right? Like that's a big thing that I'm sure people come to you. I know this is a loaded question, but I feel like this is like a good note to kind of sum up this kind of journey that we've been chatting with you about, which is obviously ultimate happiness. What do you recommend for somebody? Like, what does ultimate happiness look like? And I'm sure for everybody, it looks differently, right? Like, do you ever just sit back one day and say, I'm so happy, like, this is the life that like I always think in my head, I think I've always dreamt of that. So I'm kind of asking selfishly for myself too. But I think
so you're asking, is there ever a moment that you just sit and say, yep, I'm good. I'm happy. I have it all.
Yes. It's funny that you say that. I don't know if I have it all, but I do actually think, wow, I created a life that I love. And I'm so grateful. And I did wonder, if you ever read my first book, you will know that I literally would ask the question when I went through a very bad breakup. I would ask the question every day, will I ever be happy again? I literally did not think, so I hear you, Barbara, too, having gone through that. I literally didn't think that I could ever wake up again and just feel happy, but I could.
The simplest thing,
I realized,
right? I think that's
through a lot of
thing. Yeah.
Right. Through inward work. It takes work and willingness and time and patience. And also just to know what is it that makes everybody happy, because you're right, Paul, that is different to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I also think it changes through life. What makes me happy now and how I like to have my life today is not how I liked my life 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
That's why I'm where I'm at now. What is one thing they can change in their life just to start something?
I will say that everything that I have ever done in my life, including writing 3 books, moving countries, starting over, finding the love of my life, all of that, started in my journal. It started by writing it down. Just by starting to, and I'm going to use the word fantasize, visualize, imagine, because I know that I would not be an American citizen today, having come from Denmark, from a small town, moved to England, really worked hard to get to the top of my sport, and then moving to America, which to me, that was a really big goal, to live in California. And we're here. And it all started in my journals. I have many, I write down things and I have ideas. And I remember I put a photo on my phone 2 years before I moved to LA of an apartment block that my friend lived in. And of course I ended up living there, right? Because I was looking at it every single day. Because visualization, right? Like talking about the subconscious and the mind, how amazing it is. So I learned this through my coach at 13 when I was a dancer. The mind doesn't know if you're just visualizing something or if you've just actually done it, right? So if I visualized myself walking on the beach in LA way before I actually did, my brain didn't know if I'd actually just walked there. I just imagined it. And there's power in that. It's like planting the seed, right? It's like this podcast. You want to imagine already who do you have to listen to this podcast? What guests do you want to have on here? What do you know?
Well, we got them. We got you today. So there we go.
I know. And like, she just made me so happy inside because I visualize moving to California. Yes. My son's been out there for 8 years. It's time that we need to be all together. I'm sure he loves the idea. And then I tease him like, oh, every Sunday dinners, every Sunday.
Camilla, we love boundaries. We love boundaries.
They're blurred boundaries. They're blurred boundaries, but we have some.
If it was up to her, we'd be living together. So
but I do visualize myself like moving there, and I'm always like on realtor.com or homes.com of like looking at the street views and like where I want to be. And
that's it.
So that's like
how
my
I've done everything. Visualization is powerful.
Oh, I want you to plug everything. Well, like I'm always a big believer. Like I want the website, where people listening can follow you on social media, your books. Like, please let everybody listen because I think you're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You can follow me on Instagram at Camilla Dallerup, or you can visit my website, zenme.tv, or the ZenMe app, the meditation app, where you'll find some of the meditations we spoke about today, different courses for highly sensitive people, chakra balancing, self-love, abundance, and so forth. And you can always just DM me on social media if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help.
And if you see her teaching a class in LA at Unplugged Meditation, take the chance, do it, because she's like my best friend in my head, even though we've only met one time now. This is our second time, but I just I'm obsessed with you. I love your energy. I just think it's like great. It's great to see somebody just like be so happy and love life and work to, make those strides and efforts to do that. Because like you said, we're all human. We all wake up a certain type of way, but it's up to you to change that direction of it. So
I can't wait to do a class in person.
That class is on me, Barbara. If you come to my class and you are living that class is on me. Remember that. And by the way, Paul, as you said those beautiful words, we're all just reflections of each other anyway. So it's been I just love how you never know. And this goes back to like the book, The Celestine Prophecy. I'm going to mention that book here. Have you ever read that one?
I haven't, but I'll take all of your recommendations.
It was a book that changed my life, really. And it's just, I feel it's this kind of synergy. That's why I'm mentioning it, because, we met, but nothing is random, right? And we just connected. And then here we are on your podcast. And that's what I love about life. That to me is everything. It's like the people we meet. And that comes back to Barbara, trusting that intuition when you have like I feel like a vibration here. There's a line. Let's roll with it. Let's not question it, get in our heads about it. Let's follow that. I really, truly believe in that.
I love that. And I do too. Yeah.
That's not a perfect way to close out of like something.
Yes.
Where we started to the middle to the end. I'm like, I adore you. I appreciate you so much for coming on, spreading your wisdom and enlightening us. And definitely one of my favorite episodes so far that we've done. So
absolutely.
My light just went out. My light just went out. Oh my God, look. It just went out. It was like, you guys are done.
Done. That was a drop mic moment. That was it.
And also, I can't believe I'm wearing orange. I want to be honest, I hardly ever wear orange. And you've got orange on all your little things, and the mom is orange. I love that.
I love that
crazy too is that you told me in the email green, and I had written down what you said in class where I think I spelled it right, but not cellulite.
The green calcite.
I put cellulite, but it's green calcite.
Oh my God, that I love.
But the fact that you recommended green, and I had it on this paper, I still have this paper from your class that we did.
Really?
And I wrote down on it green because it stood out to me because it was about manifestation and heart chakras.
That's funny. And that was the one that came through as I read your email. There we are.
I love
You need a green crystal in your life.
I do. Actually, I don't have any, so I do. So thank you for recommending that.
Thank you again,
Barbara. I'm holding the vision for you to live in California. I'm holding the vision.
All right, I love it. So
Take
happy
care.
to
Have a
meet
great
you.
day.
So sweet.
Oh my gosh, she's lovely.
Everything she said today, I just feel like that was
so insightful.
yeah, I feel like she cleansed me with just her beautiful aura and like just the enlightenment she like shed on us. I'm like, I need to hire her as my like 24/7 lifeline life coach to be like,
Yeah.
girl, I'm waking up, I'm feeling this way. What do I do? Like, I feel like she is a
Just
testament of somebody who has manifested what she wanted out of life. Well, she said, we got her on the podcast saying next time you're in LA, we're going to go to a class of hers. So,
100%.
but yes, everybody who is listening definitely should check her out. She is really, truly talented at what she does. And I give my stamp of approval. You have been on the journey to listen to her story today. So I hope everyone else feels the same way. She's a superstar. So thank you everybody for tuning in to this week's episode.
Thank you.
Again, make sure y'all are following us on Instagram at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom. Make sure you're following us on TikTok at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom. Please, please, please. We love the dialogue, conversation. Email us at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast at gmail.com because, I would love to hear what conversations people want to have. And we're always open to having them. As always, like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast. We hope everybody's loving it so far. We're loving doing this. And yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on. So thanks for everybody tuning in. And Mom, I'm going to have to end this call.
All right. Bye. I'm hanging up now.
I can't with you. Bye.
Bye.